Okay, good morning, guys. Welcome to our Friday morning training. And it's December 1st. I can't believe it. Like, where the heck is like the year went and November go? I don't know. But I'm gonna somewhat, keep this training, slightly brief, just because obviously, I think we all overall we kind of know we know the gist of everything. I think at this point, and this has just been self-reflection for me. And I want you to hear me out on this. I'm not saying anybody is not doing anything, but for me, what, Cash? Go get a shirt and Mama will put it on you. Go pick out a shirt. Sometimes you have to self-reflect if you don't like where your business is at. And for me, sometimes there's no control over it. Sometimes it's just a slower season. Obviously, our economy right now is a little tough. But I have noticed that people are really starting to kind of pick up, kind of get interested again. I just feel like sometimes it can take a little bit to get going. As far as like this time of the year, you guys, like people are exhausted because of the holidays. They're exhausted because of the shorter days. They're maybe just overwhelmed. I know that I can be overwhelmed even with my Thrive. So I think back to the days before I had Thrive and how stressful of a time of year this is and how overwhelming it can be for people. And so I think in this month, we really just need to kind of really focus in on, showcasing how our products are helping us, through this, challenging time of the year where there's just a lot of to-do lists, there's a lot of stuff going on, and that we just really need to make sure that we're sharing all of this. I talked about this on one of the Zooms this morning or this week. But it was just Dan and I, and we were just kind of chatting. And normally I have a tendency to go on a squirrel moment. And so him and I were on the Zoom together, and I was just, because it was just him and I, we just kind of had an opportunity to chat a little bit. And what we were chatting about was that that sometimes we just kind of need to like change up how we're doing. But there was a couple of things that I talked to him about that I think could be really, really helpful for you guys. And I kind of just want to bring attention to this moving forward. So I think what and I'm not calling you guys out. When I say we, a lot of times, you guys, I'm just honestly talking about myself. So whenever I talk about the business, I don't want you guys to ever think that I'm pinpointing one certain person or coming at you guys like this is a group effort. Obviously, we are all here together because we're trying to grow a business and work together, right? So I want to give that disclaimer. This is not directed at anybody, but I think we complicate the business sometimes, right? Would you agree that sometimes we're like constantly overthinking everything? We're constantly trying to like, in a sense, reinvent the wheel. We're trying to come up with like the best status or like, whatever that is, or even we're putting up a status, but then we're like overthinking that status and then questioning like, is it good enough, or should I add this to it, or should I blah, blah, blah. And so you guys, we all get caught in that. But then what that does is it just slows us down. And truthfully, we can write the best status, the most compelling status ever that you think is like the absolute best. And you know how this goes, and it flops and like no one likes it. And then like you post up something that is just, you're in a hurry, you just quick write it, speak from the heart, or even let's say you go live and you feel like you're rambling, right? And then all of a sudden that's the live, like that gets the most interaction and people love it. And you were like, I feel like I did a horrible job. And so we've all been there before. I know I'm not alone in this. So I really just want to encourage you guys moving into December. I'm not suggesting to get sloppy with your business, because there's a difference of being authentic and just not overthinking things, and then just being sloppy. And what I mean about sloppy is where you're just like posting something up just to post it up because you're like feeling like, well, I got to get this post out, so I just better throw something up. And, you know, you're kind of posting with an energy that's like, I have to do this, you know, whereas like when you are just being authentic and maybe you don't have a lot of time, but you care. And so you want to get something up, but you don't have time to overthink it. And so I want to bring us back to when we first started doing Power Mornings. So I've kind of like let people go off on their own in the aspect of like, you know, we are all pretty much, you know, trained. We know how to write posts. We know how to put up engaging posts. But remember back to the first 30 days, and maybe some of you were here, maybe some of you weren't. But when we first did Power Mornings, I would literally have us write the post while we were on the Zoom at like 6:05. I would give the prompt, and then I would want everybody to write that post by the time we got off the Zoom. And the reason for that was because a lot of times we can create our own drama. And what I mean by that is we are in our head, we're overthinking the status, we're taking 40 minutes to write a status. Obviously, that is not what I want you guys to be doing, because I don't want you wasting all of your precious time just writing statuses, guys, because again, you know, we don't even know if they're going to fall on deaf ears or if somebody's going to love it or somebody's not. Like, so it's just getting into that habit of not overthinking all of your content. Because so often we just sit there and we overthink it. And so I got to a point where I'm giving you guys 2 prompts. Maybe it's too many. I don't know, because maybe then you overthink what you should do. I don't really know. But the point is that, I just want to like kind of bring things back to the basics of not overthinking these statuses, just kind of, you know, getting them up. If you're struggling, remembering to go to Google and just be like, okay, I needed this and that post. And then like find something to post. Don't overthink it and just truly get it out there. But not only that, I was talking to Dan about, so sometimes, and this is mostly me, I had kind of like this just like aha moment this week. So I don't know if any of you had heard this on one of those Zooms. So if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But I had bought a course with Fraser Brooks. And because I'm always just trying to always increase my knowledge for myself and also to bring to you guys, you know, making sure that I can give you guys the best like tips and tricks in social media and all of those things, right? And so with that though, I bought the course and then I didn't know, but that came with 2 coaching calls. And so that was really exciting. And so actually I had 2 coaching calls this week, and it was with Fraser Brooks's brother. And so if you don't know who Fraser Brooks is, Jessie Lee was in his coaching program prior to having her own coaching program. And they were also accountability partners because he is in England and he is a huge network marketer, and his parents were network marketers. So he's very, very, very successful. His parents were very, very successful. And I only just preface all of this, you know, just so that you guys know, like, I'm not just getting information from some Joe Schmo, right? Like, because I think it's good to have receipts, and, you know, people have to have like credentials, so to speak. So with that being said, he, on the first coaching call, gave me 3 assignments that I needed to do. And the reason that he wanted me to do these assignments was because he wanted to see, good morning, Jess. He wanted to see kind of like, you know, how they performed and where I was at in business. But it kind of triggered a couple things in me that kind of it reminded me of kind of what I was doing and what I'm not doing right now, but like those things were moving the needle. So it was really good to have this call and a different perspective completely, especially somebody not even in Lovell, just as a network marketer in general. So the first thing he told me to do is, if you guys seen my appreciation post, obviously I do appreciate you all, and I appreciate everyone on my social media that gives me support and love and all of those things, right? But he told me to write an appreciation post. And he goes, I want to see, what happens when you do this appreciation post. So clearly, it got, like, I don't know, like 110 likes and loves and like 28 comments, right? Just from a simple, if you're seeing this, I just want you to know I appreciate you. Or, you can say, if you see this, I want you to know I'm thankful for you, or whatever, you can switch up the words. So I did that. It performed very well. So what he told me on my second discovery call, because then we went through all of these things, he said, it's really good to do, actually, I want to pull up my notes. He said, it's really good to do an appreciation post every 6 to 8 weeks. And so he said, what you're going to notice, especially if you are growing your network, you're going to notice that that is going to grow, because then people are going to start to see that ever so often you are giving appreciation to your followers, and that they feel seen. And so he said, what happens is typically, he goes, I want you to pay attention to who liked those or who liked your post, and also who commented on it. Because he goes, you will see, if you're consistent and do those posts every 6 to 8 weeks, that those numbers will grow. And so, you guys, it's really weird, because I've seen other Lavelle leaders do this before. And I was just like, oh, that's so nice. And I commented on it, right? But they had, one lady had like 400 likes, and I'm like, holy crap. But now I'm recognizing, I'm like, I bet you she learned this somewhere from a network marketer, and she's doing this regularly. So he just talked about, a lot of times, like, we are doing everything right. It's just that we need to sometimes tweak things a little bit. So I just wanted to share with you guys, like, what I learned. So the other thing was birthday messages. Okay, well, great. I already do birthday messages. He's like, well, that's super fantastic, but maybe we need to tweak those birthday messages. And I was like, okay. So he's like, are you ready for assignment number 2? And I was like, sure. So some of you might think this is cringe. I felt it was cringe at first too, but Sarah, who sometimes joined us on our power mornings and stuff sometimes, and we've done some different lives with her. I think Jess went live with her. She lives in Florida. She's on Talia's team, but at any rate, she's a side sister, and she does this. And at first I kind of thought, well, that's her. That's cute. Like, that's her personality. But she does not just send birthday messages. She sends, she goes into Snapchat, and she does sing and have a good voice. So I'm not suggesting like we have to like sing happy birthday, but she literally sings happy birthday in a Snapchat video. And then she sends a video to her birthday messages and says, like, sends a happy birthday message. Well, I reached out to her because after they gave me this assignment, so what he said is, like, go to TikTok and just go to like Stevie Wonder, the happy birthday. And he's like, if you have kids or whatever, just make it fun. And like, you make a TikTok video essentially singing happy birthday. And so he asked me how it went. And I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't created it. I feel more comfortable doing that with my kids because it feels a little cringe. And I don't know. I'm not sure if it's me. He goes, I completely get that. But he goes, here's the reason why we do this, Heather. He said, because first of all, I never send birthday messages on the day of their birthday. No. So you guys, sometimes I forget to send birthday messages. And so I'll send happy belated birthday messages. And I have found that I get more interaction from those than on the actual day, right? Because on their actual birthday, they're busy. What, honey? Oh, it's okay. On their actual birthday, they're busy. Maybe they're not seeing it, whatever. And so then the next day, it's like their birthday's just bam, it's just over. It's like a dead stop. They like get all this birthday love on their birthdays. And then, the next day, it's like everything just feels like crickets. And so he said it's really good to send birthday messages on the day after, or even 2 days after their birthday, just because then they really notice it. And then they're going to remember you more because you're not getting lost in the birthday messages like on the actual day. So then he said, but if you are brave enough to step it up a little bit and you send a fun, cute, like TikTok or whatever you feel comfortable with, he's like, nobody, not even their best friends or family, traditionally sings to them. So he's like, you will be remembered. And he's like, if you want to stand out, that is what you're going to need to do. And so it does totally make sense to me. That's what Sarah does. Sarah's been talking about that forever. She said she feels like that's why she actually, like last month, I think she had like a PPA of 9, because like her people in her like birthday messages that she's sending, she's like, people love it. They're like, oh my gosh, like that was so fun to get that video. So I'm not saying you guys have to do it, but I'm just teaching you guys like what, I learn along the way. And even if you choose not to do the video, and you guys like, don't overthink this. Again, if you're not, I'm not saying I'm going to sing, but I'm just going to have a birthday, like a birthday TikTok with the birthday music playing, and I'm going to do like something with my kids, right? But like you could just do like, even like a video or a happy birthday GIF, like as in like a GIF, or something just creative that is like something that you've created yourself. And the point is just that you want to stand out, and that's how people are going to remember you. He goes, plus it creates additional conversation because you're going that extra mile that other people are not. Shh, Ashton, be quiet. You're going that extra mile that other people aren't willing to go. And so it's going to make you just stand out more. So he's like, so as social networkers, we have to stand out. He goes, because the truth is, people are getting a ton of birthday messages on their actual birthday. So they're not necessarily, it's nice that you're sending them, but a lot of people have caught on to it, especially in the network marketing space. He's like, so you're not really standing out of the crowd. He goes, so this is where sometimes we have to make those extra little tweaks so that people remember us. So his suggestion was to send birthday messages like a day late. So that was another thing. And then the other thing was, he talked about sending messages. And so at first I felt a little cringe. I was like, oh God, what is he going to say? And because I'm like, clearly we've gotten away from cold mess. Ashton, quiet. We've gotten away from obviously, hey girl messages and stuff like that. But you guys, like when we do our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, some of that is 5 connections, which is a message. That doesn't mean it has to be a hey girl message and blasting Thrive in somebody's inbox. That's not what I'm saying. And I would not teach that to you guys because it's cringe and I don't like it. And I don't like getting those messages. But what it made me realize is that sometimes when I'm scrolling through the feed, I'll see somebody pop up. And so I don't know why, guys, I've gotten away from this, and it was just like this aha moment for me. And it was like, I'll be scrolling. And so, for example, one of my friends on Facebook, like she just had her second baby, and he's, I don't know, maybe 3 to 6 months old ish right now. And, and so, I like made me think of her having this new baby. But like sometimes we think of this stuff, but like we're not actually messaging somebody and saying, hey, I wanted to reach out with you and see how is it going with the second baby? Like how are you adapting and transitioning? And just wanted you to know that I was thinking of you. You guys, she used to thrive with me a long time ago. But the thing is like she messaged me back right away and she said, honestly, it's so hard. I am really having a tough time adjusting, like blah, blah, blah. Like it's really difficult. And so it started this conversation where now she feels seen. And now I am like giving her support in another way. So again, that's how we're building relationships. That's how we are, having conversations. So not only is that building a relationship with her, but it's also showing Facebook that I'm being super social, which is also in turn going to push out all of my stuff in the algorithm. And that is truly how we build this business. The more conversations we have in the DMs, the better. And it's like, I know we know this, but the question that I have for everybody today is like, are we actually doing it though? There's a difference between knowing and doing, and there's a difference between doing it once in a while as opposed to literally trying to do that every day. So what I used to do on Power Mornings when we first got started was I would have us do 10 interactions on social media. So the goal was, you know, in 10 minutes to go through social media, because for some people, they weren't really used to having conversations like with people on social media or interacting, because some of us, you know, in the past, we were like silent scrollers, you know, like we would be on social media and we would see these posts, and at most, maybe we would like them, but we didn't traditionally comment on other people's posts. And for some people, in the beginning, that's really uncomfortable because it wasn't something that you typically did. So when we first started Power Mornings, it was like 10 interactions in 10 minutes. And the reason was because you wanted to make sure that we were getting those 10 interactions in. And again, that we weren't having drama around what we were writing or, you know, getting those interactions in. So my thought is, you know, what if we got back to a point where instead of doing that, we think about who can we send 10 messages to in 10 to 15 minutes? Again, not puking thrive on anybody. That is not what I'm saying. Hear me out on this. Just building relationships, checking in with people, asking how they're doing, you know, congratulating them on a new house, wishing somebody a happy anniversary, but not doing it on their social feed, but actually sending a sincere message to them in their inbox. All of those things are what make a difference in how you're going to build relationships even faster. So if you want to take this business to that next level and move it a little bit faster, these are some of the things that you need to do, because you're going to build a relationship with somebody way faster in their DM than on their actual static post. So I just really want to bring it up to you guys to be mindful of if there are things that we're commenting on the social feed, are those conversations that actually could be had in the DMs instead, where then you're actually building more authentic relationships and having conversations there and building those relationships more in the DMs as opposed to on social media. For example, another message I sent this week was a gal from Illinois. She's going through a divorce. She can't get her husband to move out of the basement. He has not worked or provided for their triplets in 4 years. She cannot get him out of the house. She finally filed divorce on him, but technically until they're divorced, it's still his house. Long story short, this woman has been going through a hard time, right? So I seen her in my news feed and I like thought, oh gosh, I wonder how she's doing. And how often do you guys do that? Like you see somebody and you kind of know their story and you're like, gosh, I wonder how they're doing. And then it's a quick passing thought and then you just kind of keep on scrolling. So the point is to be mindful in those moments. And if you're thinking about how somebody might be doing, to actually send that message, because you guys, how many people out there are actually struggling and having a hard time and they don't have a support system or a community to go to? I had a shit ass day yesterday. And guess what? I have Jess in my corner where like I knew like I can like candidly send her a message and swear as much as I need to and tell her how horrible my day was, right? And like that's a safe space for me to do that. But not everybody has that. And so for some people, just to feel seen and to feel heard is so important, because not everybody has a support system. So instead of thinking that thought, I sent her a message and I was like, hey, Gina, I've been just thinking about you, just curious. Not that I'm trying to be in your business, but you know, you've been on my heart, and I'm just kind of wondering how things are going with the divorce. Have you been able to get your husband out of the house yet? I just wanted to check in on you and see how you're doing. And she sent me a message, you guys, like this freaking long, like, and just poured out her heart. The husband's still in the house. She can't get him out. She had to go back to work part-time. Her car broke down. Her triplets turned 17 and she still doesn't have a car for them to drive. Like, just think about having triplets. Like, you'd have to buy 3 cars, but I mean, like, not technically, but like, you know, everything is triple. and so, but she's like, I don't even have one car for them to drive yet. And they're 17 and my car just broke down and it's going to cost me $4,000. And I had to go back to the hospital part-time to work, but I'm so sad because now I'm missing out time with them and they only have 1 year left. And she just was stressed to the max, right? So she's talked to me about Thrive in the past. Well, you guys, like, if we want to grow our business, like sometimes we still have to have the conversations, right? Like you still have to ask the question. You can't only wait for everybody to reach out to you for Thrive. So in this moment, we have had conversations about this before, about Thrive and about, that kind of thing. So I said to her, I was like, first, like, I made sure she was seen. I'm like, I'm so sorry you're going through all of this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Gina, because she was like, I have to get another part-time job. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And she's like, and it just sucks because that's going to be even more time away from my boys, but I don't know what else to do, blah, blah, blah. Like, so she's kind of crying out for help. Well, she does a ton of reels on Instagram and she's actually hilarious, right? And I am like, I think if she's already got a following, if she would just start incorporating sharing Thrive in her stories and just kind of trickling that in, she already has a following. So for me, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to say to her, you know what, Gina, I know you don't want to get a part-time job, but like, what if I worked with you like one-on-one and you already like need the energy, you've tried Thrive in the past, I would help you get going again. And what if we like just gave this business an absolute like 100% effort? Because what if this is the thing that could turn around your life? Like, especially with having an auto bonus and you need that for yourself, but not only your kids, like this could really help you. And I would be here to mentor you and help you. And this was late last night that I replied to her message because I was at the parade and everything. But the point is, you guys, is that when we have these conversations in the DMs and people pour their hearts out, sometimes what happens is we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. But sometimes we do have Thrive that's the solution to either their exhaustion, their whatever they're venting about, but then we like just dead stop the conversation where we need to also be mindful that in those moments, that's an open door for us to be able to say, hey, can I send you a sample? Hey, what about, have you thought about trying my products? I really think that they would help you. I'm here to support you if you need it. And so, but when you're in the DMs and you're actually having conversations and building relationships with people and they're pouring their heart out to you and they're sharing their problems, that is an open door, you guys, for us to offer a solution to their pain points. And then when you hear those pain points, you say, I know what you're saying because that was me, X, Y, and Z. You share a piece of your story and this is how it's helped me. And if I can help you, I would love to send you a sample, or I would love to, whatever the situation is of however you can help them, right? So I had a girlfriend reach out to me earlier this week, and she was talking about a mutual friend that's actually like friends with my dad. And they just built, or didn't build, but just bought a bar. It's like a resort up in Cornell. Like it's a campsite or a campground and a bar and all this stuff. It's Cornell Lake, if you guys are familiar. But anyways, so they just bought this resort, and Carrie cooks up there. She bartends up there. Now they own the property. So it's bookwork. It's, there's a lot of stuff. So my dad at Thanksgiving was talking to me like how burnt out she is, how much she works. He can't believe it. Like, honestly, kind of dogging on my dad's best friend, her husband, like how she feels like Carrie does way more work than Bob does. And then my other girlfriend who is from the area and waitresses and all this stuff, and they're all connected. And she's like, hey, Heather, do you think that Carrie would benefit from Thrive? And my girlfriend used to Thrive with me and now she doesn't. I don't really know why. She was a promoter and she even like canceled her account. It's weird because then she reached out to me and was like, I think that Carrie needs Thrive. I was like, you don't make any sense, but whatever. So she sent me the referral and she's like, yeah, I haven't had the conversation with her yet, but she's like living on like 4 monsters a day. Like Heather is just not healthy, like blah, blah, blah. You guys, in this situation, I had 2 people in 1 week bring up Carrie's name to me. I sent the message and I just said, hey, Carrie, I want you to know that this is coming from a good place. But I was like, at Thanksgiving, my dad was talking about you and Bob and, how hard you work. And Di was talking about just like how much you put into the bar and how hard you're working in the kitchen and bartending and doing all the things with the business. I'm like, I don't know if it's for you or not, Carrie, but I would love to send a helping hand. I don't know if my clean all day energy would help you or not, but if it would, I just want you to know I would love to send you a sample because people can see you and see how hard you're working. And I really think that it would help you. You guys, I sent the message and guess what? She messaged me back and she said, oh my God, Heather, if you have something for energy, I would love it. Please, I would be so grateful for a sample. You guys, this is my dad's best friends, okay? And I've been doing this for 8 years. And she's like, if you have something for energy, I'm like, of course I do. My point is, you guys, sometimes we still have to send those messages when we know we can help or that we have something that can help somebody, especially when they are people that are in our circle and people that are close to us. I'm not suggesting sending cold messages, but I think it's a reminder that when we see somebody and if we see them struggling, here is the thing with Holly. She was a brand new friend of mine on social media. We were building a relationship. I was interacting on all of her posts, and this was going on for, I don't know exactly how long, maybe 3-6 months, something like that. It's not like I just slipped into her DM. But as she continued to talk about her exhaustion, I would send her messages like, hey, mama, I think you're doing a great job. Hang in there. I know how you feel. I was an exhausted, tired mom too, but you're doing a great job. And so we were just building this relationship. And then I wrote another post one day that literally broke my heart. And I was just like, that's me. That was me. And I had no other choice but to send her a message and say, Holly, I can't help it, but I seen your status today and I just can't watch you struggle any longer. Can I please give you a free Thrive sample? I really think it'll help you. That was the day, you guys, that she was crying in her garage. That was the day that she was literally at wit's end and was like, I need something to change. And she was literally crying. So when you guys feel that call in your heart, you have to send the message. And so that is the thing that I want you guys to know. Not everybody is going to send you a message. Not everybody is. If you know you can help somebody, the worst they're going to say is no. And especially if you've already been building a relationship with them, it's not a cold message. We need to understand the difference between messaging people with a solution for their pain points that they're already complaining about and doing it in an authentic, warm way, as opposed to just sending some stranger hey girl, I think you would love Thrive. You ready to thrive? Those were the messages we were told to send before. Literally, you guys, hey girl, I found this amazing product and it gives you lots of energy. I think you would love it. You ready to try it? And it's whoa, wait, what? What are you even talking about? It's so random, So I'm not saying sending random messages. These are with people that you have already been communicating with. So those are some things moving into December that I just wanted to bring about, you guys, because this time of the year is when people struggle. This is the time of the year where people are having a hard time. So if you have people close in your circle or on your social media that you are already building relationships with and you're seeing them struggle, I'm just saying, don't be afraid to be authentic and be like, I don't know if this is for you, and I hope you know this is coming from a good place, but I would love to send you a free trial. And if it doesn't work for you, then great. But I really think that this is something that you could benefit from, and I would love to send you a free trial if you think that, this would help you out. And again, you guys, just being authentic like that, people are never going to be upset with you. Almost never when I send that message does anybody ever decline. They say, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm really struggling. Maybe it's time. Because when Heather Harlstad sent me, or Henry, when Heather Henry, whatever. That's her maiden name. But when Heather Henry sent me that message, you guys, I was Holly. I was Holly on social media at my breaking point, complaining about how tired I was all the time. Angel seeing how tired and exhausted I was all the time. And I was crying constantly, bringing the kids into daycare. And I was at my breaking point. Well, Heather saw that on social media. And guess what, you guys? I wouldn't be here today had she not sent the message and said, Heather, I think I have something that could really help you. Can I please just send you a free trial? And I was struggling. And so I didn't really know what else to say other than, okay, yeah, I guess so. And you guys, if she would have never sent that trial, I would not be where I am today. It was that one message. Same with Holly Zarnke. I mean, clearly you got to be the person that, takes the product and actually like is open to it. But same with Holly, like she wouldn't be on the Zoom today and having the transformation that she's had in the last 9 months had I not sent the message. Maybe she would have eventually messaged me, maybe not. We'll never know. But the point is she's here because I sent a message and saw her. So moving into December, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, you guys, but we really have to be mindful of this, of just really making sure that we are seeing people and, doing what we can do. If we have goals to push our businesses forward, we can't always only wait for people to show up in our inbox, because honestly, some people will never message you. And honestly, I'm the person I don't know how I want to say it. I'm so independent and I just have so much things like from my past and my trauma. I would have never sent the message to them. Never. I would have just struggled in silence for Lord knows how much longer. Because it's just, for me, like I've always had to be strong. And so like that would be like humbling myself and letting that guard down. And that's not something that I'm good at. And so if Heather would have never sent that message to me, I don't know that I ever would have messaged her. So I just also want you guys to think of like whatever your feelings are is not how everyone else operates. Some people will never send the message. And then there's other people that will be like, what is that thread thing you're doing? And they'll send the message and they don't care and they'll ask the question. But then there's other people that will never ask the question. But that's also why when you're building those relationships in the DMs, they maybe wouldn't have reached out to you first, but because we're having a conversation in the DMs, then they're like, you know what, since you're here, and they feel like in a place of trust because you're seeing them and you're talking to them and, you're building this relationship, then that's when they'll ask the question. I'll be like, you know what? I've actually been meaning to reach out to you about Thrive. I'm actually really struggling. And a lot of times that's how those conversations end up coming up. You don't ever even have to be the one to bring it up sometimes. But once you are in the DMs having conversations, then that's when those conversations come up. So we know what we have, guys. So we just, again, if we have, goals to move into the new year and thriving for free and building businesses and all of those things, these are just a few extra things that we need to just kind of do a check and see like, okay, like, are we doing the things? Could we maybe do a couple things, just tweak them and do them just a little bit better? To move the business and needle a little faster. And not everybody is in a rush. I personally, you guys, I have been, in a position with like our Airbnb where things have been really hard. And so my Thrive business is what is helping us stay alive, to be completely honest. So for me, I need to do the things that I can control on my end as far as working my business to try to make that business move. So everybody is at different goals and different seasons. And so if you're not in a position where you feel urgent to move your needle faster, then that's totally okay. But this is just, for anybody that feels like maybe they want to apply things a little bit differently. Obviously, it's December 1st. It's a brand new month. So the slate is clean. You guys, we have something coming this month. I don't know what it is. It sounds like we're going to find out. Supposedly, the beta testers are getting their stuff. on the 15th. Also, tomorrow is a training for Lavelle. It's like 2.5 hours long, I think. But when they do these, you guys, they are really, really, really good. And you will get a ton of nuggets. So if you're able to tune in, even if you can't sit down and watch it, throw an earbud in while you're cleaning your house or whatever. Because you always pick up something that's like, oh, that's a great tip. And maybe like that'll help me. So that's going on tomorrow. And then also I just challenge you, if you are in a place of wanting to really, really grow your business, sometimes taking it the next level, like we have our daily IPAs, like our income producing activities and like our daily method of operations, whatever you want to call it, interactions, whatever. But sometimes you guys, it is tracking what we're doing, because then sometimes we realize that we're actually not working as much as we think, or we're not being as consistent as we think. So again, that's just to point out, if you're somebody that is working toward goals, that, I mean, for me, I'm going to start tracking, because I just want to get laser focused, especially because of whatever's launching. I, want to take this opportunity to try to, grow my business even more with whatever's coming. So I personally am going to start tracking my efforts, and I'm gonna, I got to figure out how that's going to work for me. I might make like a tracker. And if you guys are interested in it, I would be more than happy to share it with you. But it's just, for me, I'm a checklist kind of girl. So for me, it's like, okay, did I send 10 messages today, just making somebody's day? So that's how I think of it, you guys. I'm not thinking of this as sending Thrive messages. I'm thinking of this of, who can I send 10 messages to today to make their day or make them feel seen? And like, that's just like, that's how I think of it. So 10 messages a day to make people feel seen. Doing obviously our interactions on social media. You guys, we're on social media, so I don't even think that's hard for us to do. Like, that's not even a thing anymore. We all know how to interact on social media. We're doing great with that. Posting up in our stories. You guys are all doing that. You're doing a great job. So if there's just one thing that you maybe want to tweak, this might be the thing to do. And then, like I said, just sending those birthday messages maybe a day late, so that you're getting noticed a little bit more. And then maybe just asking them a question like, hey, I'm so sorry I missed your birthday. Happy belated birthday. Did you have a great day? Like, that's not weird. Like, you're wishing somebody a belated birthday. You're just asking them if they had a great day. But that's how you can have that conversation keep on going, because you always want to try to ask a question so that they have to reply, right? And then that's how that conversation can continue going back and forth. So those are the things that I have for you guys. But we're just gonna keep at it. We obviously have some exciting stuff coming this month. I don't know what it's gonna be. I kind of think it might be the DNA thing. Just because like the video to me almost felt like, did it say something about how we're going to be able to dial it in, or I don't know, but sometimes Lavelle throws me off and I'll think it's like this one thing. Just like yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be like chocolate mint or something. And then gingerbread, like I wasn't, well, and I kind of thought maybe eggnog. And like, I didn't even think of gingerbread at all. So I'm like, they kind of just throw us off sometimes. So, but yeah, so we got a lot coming. So just stay the course, you guys. We know that this is the month that sometimes it will start off really, really slow, because everybody is really, really in a mindset of Christmas, and they're busy and they're shopping and there's concerts and plays and church programs and all the things, and everybody's running a million different directions, right? But then kind of once Christmas happens and then like that kind of settles down a little bit, then it's like everybody's into New Year. And then it's like, crap, my New Year's resolutions, I'm so exhausted. And like, then that's when everybody really starts messaging about Thrive. So it's really important to stay super consistent at the beginning of this month, because you're the ones that they're going to remember at the end of the month. And one more thing to squirrel out on before I go, because I just thought of this. This was another thing I talked to Dan about that I really want to point out is So you guys, like, so often we probably think of that we talk about the same thing over and over and we kind of feel like we might be annoying. But a stat that I've seen is that it takes a person 7 to 9 times to see the same exact thing before it actually registers. So I think for me personally, I'm overcomplicating this business, and every single time I'm doing like an opportunity post or like even like my transformation post or payday posts or whatever it is, the things that we do quite regularly. I want to encourage you guys to take those captions and put them either, you can do a boards app, but you guys, boards is now charging, which is why I'm not doing my boards app with the team anymore. But you can have 3 boards for free, I think. And a leader this week I heard on a training or a Zoom or something said that she puts her captions in her boards app. So like she has like an opportunity like board, like a transformation board, and then like a payday board or whatever it is, or like her story. And you guys, what she does, she's like, nobody remembers your post that you post 3 weeks ago, and not everybody even sees it. And so she's like, stop overcomplicating this business. Reuse your captions. You're making this business so much harder than it has to be. And you guys, that spoke to me huge, because every time I write a post, I write a fresh post every single time. Every single time. But what if we start taking those posts that we regularly talk about, like our transformation, our story, the opportunity, and we have those captions saved, and you have like, I don't know, 5 to 7 captions for each topic. And of course, each time you can kind of change a couple words if you feel like it, or if there's something going on in that specific moment that you need to personalize it to that situation. But you kind of have those out. So you think about that, guys, and think about maybe writing out or going through your old captions and saving the ones that you really love, putting them either on a Google Doc, say the word, please, somebody, you know what I'm saying, Microsoft, and then, or your notes section. See, my brain is trying to move faster than my mouth because I'm trying to let you guys go. I said this was going to be short and I'm already almost to an hour. So that's what happens. And then like put those captions in there so that you have them. And then you guys, like, literally, this is going to help you create your content through the week so that you are not struggling to know what to post, because you're going to have all of your captions there. You can even take those captions, put them into ChatGPT, ask them to help you to make this caption even more compelling to, you know, the audience that you're trying to attract, and they will like reform it for you. It's still your words, but sometimes you guys, they just use better words that it's like, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. And then you can save that. And then anything that doesn't sound good, delete it. Like, make it your own. But if you're struggling to write these posts, use ChatGPT to help you, and then save them. And so then you'll always have them in your phone and so, or wherever, your computer, and then it can make your life so much easier when posting up about Thrive. And then you can just, you got, you know, anywhere's between 4 to 7 different captions. You pick a caption and then you put whatever relevant picture to it that day. And you guys, we repeat that on autopilot, because nobody remembers every status that you write, especially because technically if we're writing about, like, say 3 different topics and you have 7 different captions, that's 21 different captions. Nobody is going to remember exactly what you wrote. But part of it is they need to see it repetitively before it even sinks in. And sometimes they only read the first like sentence or 2, because you guys can't tell me you haven't been guilty of that. You're scrolling, you see it, you're like, this isn't relevant to me, and you just keep going, right? So we can't expect that our people aren't doing that to our statuses too. We're doing it to them. So again, we have very small attentions. So just have those captions and then just run them on repeat to make your guys' lives easier and to make this business go better. Especially, like, I'm thinking of Tammy right now, and even Holly, who work crazy hours. Honestly, even, you know, the people that are waking up at 3 a.m. to go to work. Yeah, that's not a thing for me. But bless your guys' hearts. Yeah, that's a no bueno for me. Okay. I would find a different job, just being honest. So so I really give a lot of kudos to you guys. But just think about when you have these crazy busy schedules like that, and we all have busy schedules, no matter like what it is, we all have life happening, right? But if we had these statuses already saved in our phone or wherever is convenient for you, and you have a busy day, you can go and like, okay, I'm going to talk about this today. I haven't talked about the opportunity for a while. And so you have it saved. Like, how many times have you guys written out, like, no fees, no quotas, bonuses in the first 14 days, payday every single Tuesday? Like, how many times have you guys wrote that out in a status? Like, I know I've written it out probably 97 times in 97 different ways. Like, we need to stop overcomplicating that, because that never changes. Lavelle has never changed any of that. It's always stayed the same. So why am I writing that same caption over and over 100 different times? So let's work smarter instead of harder moving into December and the new year, because December is going to be busy. So whenever you guys get a chance, either write these captions out yourself, or if you have time, go back into all of your old statuses and the ones that you like and that are already curated for you. Copy and paste them somewhere so you have them. So then moving forward, you already have them. You can tweak them when you go to post them if you want to, but at least they're already written out, and it's going to save you a ton of time, especially with the holidays. I don't want you guys to be glued to your phones. I want you to do your work intentionally and then be able to enjoy the holiday and family and all of those things. So hopefully these will be tools to help you guys work smarter and not harder. Does that make sense? Sweet. That is what I have for you guys. I'm going to let you go. I think Cash is pooping. I'm just praying to God that there's not poop everywhere in my bathroom right now. So I'm going to go and investigate that situation right now, and wish me well, please. And I appreciate you guys all. Happy December. It's going to be a great month. And if you guys need any help with anything, or if you're struggling with anything, please always know that I'm here to support you. So just reach out if you're struggling with something, and we will navigate it together and figure out a solution. So that's what I have for you guys. I appreciate you, and have a great, great day and weekend. Talk to you guys later.